talk about guitar and my past and my influences and what I think wrong, what I think is wrong with some of the music today. Um, Modern day stuff, I guess. As far as rock and metal goes, uh, I probably picked up the guitar when I was about 9 or 10. Um, I got a guitar from the swap meet. It was like $30. My grandpa got it for me. I was a real unsocial kid. I didn't really talk to a lot of people. I did, but and I mingled with people, made them laugh or whatever. I was a real clown guy, but uh, after a while, it just was like, I just got bored, and so he got me this little acoustic, and I broke it. I remember going home and I fell on it, and the tuning pegs, the motor heads were just smashed, and so I bought new motor heads and new tuning pegs, and I installed it on the guitar, but I put it facing upward instead of downward, so it looked just like this pitchfork looking thing with the tuning pegs outward rather than downward. So I thought that was funny, but that's pretty much what I did. And I remember playing Enter the Sandman and learning one and just simple riff songs. And I was always into riffs. And that was probably one of my biggest thing. I did leads barely if I learned the song, but I was really interested in the chugginess and the distortion, and I liked it a lot, and I wanted to figure out how they got that noise. But to me, it was noise, but it was controlled noise, and I liked how chuggy and in your face it sounded. And then I realized I couldn't get it because I needed an amp. And I was young and dumb, stupid. Well, I'm still young and dumb, but I was stupider then, I hope. Um, and I bought a Marshall. It was like 150, 140 watt or something like that. It was weird, cheapy little model, and but it was bad. I liked it. I had a first stack guitar. I bought it at Walmart, no doubt, and I went to town on it. And I then kind of had stopped for a while because I met this dude, and he was bad. He was a real good guitar player, and I got discouraged because I said, man, I could never sound like that guy. Um, so I completely just cut it off for a while. But then when I was 13, I started learning licks, and that's when I probably got a little more serious into the guitar. I wanted to learn how to do more, and I wanted to learn how to do more riffs, and I want to learn how to develop my own stuff rather than play somebody else's stuff. And I think that was something that really helped me out. Uh, Anytime I played in bands, some would get mad at me because I wanted to learn, you know, I wanted the band to incorporate their style, but I also wanted to put in a lot of riffs and stuff. And I think that's why a lot of times I fell out of bands or they kicked me out or I just left. But one specific band in town, the guy would never let me riff. He would come up with these easy riffs and he would never let me riff. And that's when I realized that a lot of these guitar players are like that because they have a preset kind of notion in their head of how they should be and how they should play based off of technicality or somebody they've heard before. And I think that happens so much today that it saturates the thinking of literally of music makers today in modern day, and then you just get something cookie cutter that comes out, and you've heard it before. And I'm guilty. I do a lot of stuff that people have heard before, but I try and be as original as possible. I think one of the biggest things in music that really will help people, I guess, strive is developing their own style. Uh, when I listen to bands, I like to uh, capture that feel because there's some sort of feel that rises some specific emotion. Metal, pretty much just anger all the time. But if you listen to like you listen to Satriani and he'll do something real, it just sounds real vibrant. That's a clean, maybe it's on a clean setting, and it makes you feel some specific way. And I think there's a loss of that when it comes to the metal genre today because you have so many people just spitting out stuff that's so cookie cutter, and that's off topic, but that's basically what I wanted to do as a kid. I realized, I'm probably never gonna be. I wanted to be the greats, the Tony McAlpines, the Steve Vais, uh, the Satrianis, you know. But I'm realizing, nah, probably, I could try so hard, but why do that? And, um, I read a column in Guitar World when I was about 14 or 15, and Satch was sitting down with Kirk Hammett, and they were just gonna make Injustice for All, and he wanted to learn some more dynamics and style. And I guess Satch just told him, "You're Kirk, and I'm Satch, and that's how it has to stay. And you don't want to copy my style too much. You want to be you as your style. You don't want to mold a whole new style that sounds like somebody else because it's been done before." And I'm not trying to justify my suckiness because I'm not the greatest, and there's probably a lot of dudes that will stomp on me. But I think incorporating that feel is what makes it a musician, And I don't even classify myself as a musician fully. I'm just a dude who likes guitar, but I think that anybody can have a capability to want to incorporate a certain feel in a song, and uh, you know, I think that that's something that should be brought back. You know, in today's music, especially in rock and instrumental stuff. Technicality is great, but I remember when I was about 16, 17, my dad had this friend named Bruce, and they grew up together, rocker dudes. They grew up from middle school, maybe even before, probably elementary. And the dude told me, making the most technical riff is cool and it sounds nice, but it's only gonna stick in people's heads for so long. If you make something that can really stick in somebody's head for a while, then that's an accomplishment. And I think that that's where my playing began, my journey began, is to try and find those riffs and those specific chords and stuff like that will either make people think or make them really make them want to incorporate more feel into their songs. And that's pretty much what my playing is. I live in Tucson, Arizona. Uh, I like one of the things that I really liked is the desert, and I like going to Tombstone when I was a kid and checking out. You know, I saw Tombstone when I was like 11 or 12, or maybe younger, and I wanted to be Wyatt Earp or whatever. I was retard or whatever, but I went there and I liked that feel. And uh, one thing one of my strong points is I like blues and a lot of folklore and stuff like that. And when I heard ZZ Top Fandango for the first time, and I lived in my apartment. I got an apartment when I was like 18 or 19, and I heard Fandango, and I was like, Billy Gibbons, Dusty Hill, and Frank Beard, three dudes, from Texan guys. Well, they're all white, but they're throwing down hard and they're playing these licks, these blues style, you know, and I was enthralled with their style, and I watched more Gibbons videos, and then that's when I fell in love with blues. I really wanted to try and incorporate as much blues as possible into style of music, even if, you know, the band in that I was in at the time didn't want anything to have to do with blues. Uh, I remember I had bands, but they didn't take off, you know, very well. But I had a specific band that I was in, and these guys were doing pretty good. I had a great drummer and a guitar player. He could come up with some pretty cool uh, death. I was a death metal, really into the death metal stuff, and that was when I wanted to be super technical, you know. But he would come up with some style riffs, but they were bland. Everything would sound the same sometimes, and I didn't want to incorporate a lot of blues and change up his own band, but I wanted to showcase what I could do, you know. And I think in a band, uh, you can't have people that want to butt heads. And, you know, it's time for me to step up. You know, I want to be in the light. You know, and they want to be the best, but I think if you can equally distribute and showcase each individual's talent uh, in the right way, I think a lot of a lot can happen there. That's pretty much the kind of band I would like to find. I don't know, you know, what's gonna happen, but that's some I think every musician that has that mindset wants to strive for. Um, I think every guitar player has a probably an image and they're trying to reach it, and they pick and choose how to build that image, and eventually they'd like to get there. Uh, and everyone nowadays, you know, kind of paints the same image, and I think that's a huge problem because the next generation won't really get to experience what I did when I was younger. I had to look at the older stuff in order to really experience uh, I guess, my own style. I had to figure out what kind of style I wanted, really what I wanted to be, and find yourself as a musician. I think, you know, I haven't fully maybe found myself, but I think there's a specific direction that I want to go in, and I think that your influences help mold that a lot, whether it be death metal or southern rock or whatever have you, classic